G'day family. I'm going to put together one of my quick and nasty videos. I have received today an unusual amount of emails and confirmations that actually point potentially to the 15th. Now, I'll show you some pictures because I can't exactly work out when the third day of unleavened bread is. It seems that 3 different sites have 3 different ideas on what the third day of unleavened bread is. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Now, this little journey that I'm going to take you on began with an email from, and as you can see here, there are so many emails that I haven't got to yet because, oh, look at that, I've got a phone bill. Because I read one and it takes me down a rabbit hole that'll take me, 2 or 3 days to research. But this began, first of all, with, let me have a look, this email here. Now, I'm not going to read it all out because it's long. So, because I'm trying to do a quick and nasty here, I want you guys to pause and read it yourself. This is from a subscriber on our channel, Andreas, I think I got the name right, who is in Germany. And they had a dream that they believe could potentially point to the third day of unleavened bread. Now, I'll explain some more as to why I think that could be significant in a moment. But I'll just scroll through slowly, and I'm not going to read it. And I know if Mike's watching this with his headphones in, he'll be saying, that's annoying, because I can't see it through my earphones. But anyway, you guys just pause this and read yourself. It pertained to a dream. And I found that very interesting, that it pointed to, for this person anyway, as you can see right there where I've paused, 3 days and 3 nights in the days of unleavened bread. So, we'll leave it there. I got permission to share that, so that was fine. Now we'll go to a supplement that they've got to add, and here it is here for you to read. Again, I'll get that little thing of mine out of the way. You can pause and have a look. And there was, that was just some additional information that they'd added in. But notice how they believe in their vision that one of the reasons they believe the vision was, definitely real and happening was because of the fact that they were short-sighted, and, in a vision you'd see things clearly. You wouldn't see them, with your earthly flaws and faults. So I found that interesting. But then we had even more confirmations come through all at once about April 15 again. Now you can pause and read, as I said, because there's just no way I'm going to have time to read all this out. The links won't be active, obviously, so if you wanted to have a look at those, you'd need to type it in by hand, which would be a pain, but that's the way it goes. I presume those active links probably take you to information you can see there also, 1952, first flight of Boeing. So I'm just going to continue to scroll through, and we have an image there of from Stellarium. So that was that a little bit of information. Now, come over to my pictures, and I like that picture, isn't that great? Now, let's just have a look. Lois Lane, a sister that I know on our channel, actually sent me some information, and for some reason she just had April 14 stuck in her head. She wasn't sure why. She knew it coincided with a blood moon somewhere, but for her April 14 was sort of a significant date because it's stuck in her mind. So she sent me these pictures, and we can see that we had a Passover blood moon, one of the tetrads, on April 15. I said 14 a minute ago, I think. Anyway, if I've been saying April 14, I've been meaning April 15. So we had this Passover blood moon on April 15, and as these are some screenshots from the email that I had up a second ago for you guys to have a look at, but notice the 3 days and 3 nights. Now, I was trying to work out when the third day of unleavened bread was, in accordance to this dream. It seems difficult to work out. There are a few sites that say different days. Now, something I also found interesting, because what I sort of came up with, it appears the third day of unleavened bread is April 15. Now, that is very interesting because that's the dream pointed to the third day of unleavened bread on April 15, 2014. We had the Passover blood moon, and this year, the third day of unleavened bread on Passover does seem to be the 11-year anniversary of that blood moon that I just mentioned. So we have a dream pointing to the third day of unleavened bread. The unleavened bread, third day, if it is indeed April 15, is exactly 11 years since the April 15 blood moon of 2014. Boy, I hope I'm getting all those dates right, because I'm just repeating 15s and 14s. So anyway, I hope you're getting the picture. But something I find interesting, if that is indeed significant, the first of the tetrad blood moons from April 15, 2014, 11 years on exactly, it looks like it brings us to the third day of unleavened bread on Passover, which is sunset tonight in Israel, which does relate to the dream that I've had and 2 or 3 other emails that I've received, which I found interesting because they all came in one big hit, and that never ever happens. Now, if we went 11-11, which we all see, 11-11, so 11 years and 11 days from the blood moon, the first of the tetrads on April 15, 2014, if we went 11 years and 11 days, it would be the day after, it'd be April the 26th, the day after the triple conjunction that you can see there. Now, Brother Jarrett over at Supernatural by Design has made it fairly clear in his research that we see these signs and the events happen afterwards. They don't usually happen on the day of the sign. At least that's the take that I got from the many videos of his that I've watched. So, isn't that interesting? We've got exactly 11 years from the first of those tetrad blood moons in 2014, brings us to potentially the third day of unleavened bread, Passover this year. you know, and then 11/11, so another 11 days later is a day after this triple conjunction, and this lines up with people's dreams and other emails that I've also received. Hence the reason for doing a quick and nasty to get this out, because there was so much information, and I haven't even, as you could see, finished reading the emails yet. Now, that's Mike's new timeline. Now this is where it got confusing, because we had unleavened bread. It tells you some dates here. Day 1 looks like the 12th. So there'd be 12 would be day 1, 13 day 2, 14 would be day 3. This one seems to say unleavened bread will begin on Monday the 14th, which would make the third day, the 17th. And yet this one says the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts on the 13th to the 19th. So 13th, 14th, 15th would be the third day. So for the sake of this video, and because I'm hopeful of rapture, and hopeful that this preponderance of emails and strange things that have happened over the last couple of days, because I'm hopeful that it could point to the rapture, obviously. I like this one the most, because it seems to indicate that the third day of unleavened bread is the 15th, which aligns with this email, and you saw the emails that I made reference to when I actually opened my actual email app. So guys, all I can say is things are getting exciting. Where are we? I'm certainly also looking at the Essene calendar, because I know Brother David's about to do a very in-depth video on the Essene calendar and how it has potentially been overlooked. Its importance has potentially been overlooked, and it could be a lot more significant than we realise. But that's all Brother David's research, so I'll give it a little bit of a sort of a heads up that he's got something in the pipeline for everybody. So the next days for me, obviously, as I've said on my last live, would be May 1st, which is second Passover on the Essene calendar, and then May 12, which is second Passover on the Hebrew calendar. As you saw on the last live, for those of you that watched it, I don't have a dog in this fight, so I'm not argumentative about my dates, or I don't see them as more significant or likely than anybody else's. So clearly anybody that's got, a reasonable significant date past May 12, I'm going to consider that. And the next date past that I find the most significant is June 8. And we talked a lot about that on the live with Brother Aaron. He's got all his reasons for looking at June 8, and he has stuck to his guns ever since last year, and everybody else's date has passed. So that is indeed another very significant date to be watching, and I'll probably do a live on June 8 for Brother Aaron's date. Not too sure if I'll do one on May 1st and May 12th. I might do. We'll see how things go. But for now, we don't have a lot of hours left until sunset in Israel. What the 15th means, I'm not sure. Does it mean sunset on the 14th becoming the 15th? Does it mean we have the whole day, so it's sunset on the 15th becoming the 16th? Or does it mean midnight? Sort of our Gregorian way of looking at things, change of dates at midnight. Does it mean we're looking at something at midnight, or, as I have said on previous lives, does it mean we could be looking at astronomical, civil, or nautical twilight? So all I'm doing is coming on quick to say that there is some reason to watch April 15, whatever April 15 means, as I just explained. But for now, we know that The return of our blessed hope is indeed very close. All the signs that we expect have been fulfilled. The rapture is going to happen at any moment. Israel became a nation again in 1948. The prophetic time clock has been ticking, and we are almost at midnight, family. The dispensation of grace is about to finish, but until then, we still have our blessed hope and his promise that if we confess with our mouth that Jesus is Lord and God, and we truly believe in our heart that God raised him from the dead on the third day, defeating death, sin and the grave, that Jesus lived a perfect life. He paid our sin debt for us on the cross. If we believe and confess, then all our sins are forgiven, past, present and future. They are forgiven through the works of Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ alone, not by the works of man, for man's works are but filthy rags before the Lord. Our God is glorious. Our Lord Jesus Christ is perfect. Give it all to him, guys. God bless.